Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you for this opportunity that I can speak to you this morning. My hope for today, first of all, is it is not a monologue. It is not just I standing here, keep talking for 20 to 25 minutes. I'm hoping that there may be some interaction between you and I. Is that all right? Second, the message I'm going to preach today is something I have never shared over there. Okay? And I'm going to share with you guys some pictures, really old pictures that they have never seen before. So, if you want to see clearly of how I and Winnie look like long time ago, feel free to sit closer. Okay. The difficult part of this sermon is not mainly on the exegesis explaining the Bible, but I spent a lot of time to go back to my database, looking through 20,000 pictures and get all these picture back. So I hope these pictures can also be something interested for all of us. And the message today is simple. It's all about giving. See, every time in this world, I always believe at the moment we give, we start to feel that we lose something, right? For example, if I give money to someone else to help someone, if I look at my bank account statement, I can see that the number is smaller. If I spend or give time to a brother or a sister, and then just to show care, I realize that I myself lost maybe 1 or 2 hours, which I can use to do my personal stuff. So giving, maybe we need to be honest, is something that sometimes we feel a little bit reluctant to do, right? No matter we are talking about giving to other people, or let's say even giving something to yourself. If I say, when you are busy, for example, so busy in life, but someone like me, I'm a pastor, stand next to you, I start to say, hey, you need to give yourself a little bit more rest. And that person, after they hear that, because they know they have so many stuff they have to settle, and then that person may feel guilty if they give themselves rest. But this message, I would like to say, is all about giving. What I would like to argue or to share with every one of us is the value of giving. And the way I want to argue that is not to grab a Bible to tell you a story, but instead, I realize I do not have many opportunities usually to introduce myself to every one of you. So I also would like to grab this opportunity to share with you my personal story. And I'm not sure if you have read this book before. Have you read this book before? The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. This is a really thin book. It's easy to read. If you don't know or if you don't have time to read, one of the best way, frankly, is type the name of this book and at the end you type Winky, okay? Then you can just read the summary and then you can tell people, hey, yeah, man, I read this book, but this is not what I want to do today, okay? And I'm not going to go into all the details of this book, but I think this book is quite interesting. This book is about a man whose name is Eddie. Somehow Eddie died in an accident. And the story is simple, Eddie went to heaven, and when he stepped into heaven and he was told, you know what, heaven got 5 levels and now you are at level 1. And the person who was speaking to Eddie was a man who is entirely blue, okay? Okay, then now we jump to the conclusion of the story, okay? The conclusion of the story is Eddie met one person at each level in the heaven. And all these persons are related to his life when he was alive. And then by meeting all these 5 people, in Eddie's reflection, he learned some lessons. He learned some wisdom. Okay? But today, I would like to do similar. But I have never been heaven. I also cannot bring you to heaven right now. I believe you don't want me to do so, right? So I changed the name, okay? The 3 lessons I learned in SMT, short-term mission trip. I even changed the author name, okay? If this side you can't see it, okay? Author of Nothing, okay? And I also put down with Winnie Choi because my life is always quite related to my wife, Winnie Choi, because all the mission trip I have been, I nearly went with Winnie together. So today's message is, I'm going to share with you 3 experience, 3 mission trips I attended before. I would say this trip, this experience taught me a lesson. Some wisdom, I would like to say, form who I am today. Some lesson that I would like to say, if I didn't go to the mission trip, I don't think I will be able to learn this lesson. Okay? I hope this lesson may be beneficial to every one of you. So the first one, you can see, oh, what is it? Do you know, maybe some of us are younger, okay? I'm still young. Any one of us know 2003, what happened in Pacific Asia? Tsunami, yes. This is a picture I took in 2004, which is 9 months after the tsunami hit Thailand, the Phuket. So that was the first mission trip I attended. I intentionally put this picture first because you can see a boat, you can see some people building something. But by looking at this picture, it is hard to tell the actual environment and situation. The next picture, can you see this boat right here? It's a huge one, it's a fishing one. It's really a professional one. If you look at this one, you can tell how come this boat is in the middle of the land. I remember when I first went to this place, and I always remember this number. This location is 2 kilometers far from the sea. That means the height of the tsunami at that time is high enough to push this boat all the way from the sea to 2 kilometers to the land. And when the tsunami gone, the boat is right here. This picture was, frankly, quite impactful to me. And when I went to the Thailand, I remember that was 10 months already. And we were told that we better not to went to Thailand, Phuket, in the first 4 to 5 months right after the tsunami. Why? Because one reason. When the tsunami resumed normal, everything looks normal. At that time, in Thailand, Phuket, there were still a lot of water, or here or there. But never step on that because someone may be inside. So we were told we shouldn't go to Thailand 6 months right after the tsunami. So we decided to go 10 months or 12 months after. And this picture, they decided not to move this boat away at all. They decided to let this boat being here, they said, as long as they can. And you can see people are building something here. They are building actually a church. A Christian church decided to build a church right next to the boat as a memory for the people, the local people, that the Thai people will be able to overcome what they experience. But what touched me the most is this part. They are rebuilding a fishing boat, a small one. And frankly, that is part of the reason why I now become a pastor. One of the job of mission trip, of course, is to share gospel, right? I'm not just going there, have the Thai curry, eating and then going Thai massage. No, I remember I was in the beach, sitting next to a 45 years old man, 2 men. I talked to one of them. That man sitting on the beach, doing nothing at all. And I thought, maybe that is good for me at least to go there to tell him about Jesus. And then I walk to the man, I sit next to him. I remember he was sitting at my left and I was sitting here. I asked him, how are you doing? He said, same. And then I asked, what are you going to do today? No, I'm not going to do anything today. And then I asked, What about your family, your wife and kid? His answer to me was, no more. When the tsunami came, he was the only one who was able to climb up to the tree, and he eyewitnessed his wife and his children all gone. And then you know what? I'm from Hong Kong. Be really honest, my evangelistic skill was so limited. Usually we ask, how are you? Anything I can pray for you, right? But this man sitting right next to me is the first time I start to feel a man can be this hopeless. No job, I don't want to work, no responsibility, all the family is gone. What are you going to do in the future? No, I'm just going to sit here until I can't. I don't know how to share Jesus, be really honest. I feel not so good even if I tell you, hey, you know what? Jesus will be able to help you tomorrow. I feel bad at that time, even I say that. It's an easy sentence to say. But I feel if I say that, I don't know what will happen to this man. And that is the very, very first time I would like to say I personally feel hopelessness. A man sitting right here, the government built a new fishing boat to him, but he decided not to do fishing anymore because what's the point? I was a fisherman before to look after my family, but now I have no family. Why not I just sit at the beach all day long? Okay, that conversation is like 30 minutes. I didn't feel frustrated because I couldn't share the gospel, but I feel really down seeing a man like this experience a tsunami in this sense. In Thailand, after going to Phuket, this is the park. See, you need to open up your eyes, or maybe you need to sit closer, okay? Because you are going to see Winnie and Kin here, which is really small. We went to orphanage. This is the orphanage at the Lofton Park of Thailand. We went there. We played games with them. You know, I'm quite good in twisting the long balloon, actually, because I was well trained in that. I can make a crown, I can make a dog, I can make a sword, I can make a boat, I can make a duck. I learned it from this, and I enjoy it, you know. At that day, playing with all the children, you see they are so young, right? All of them are around 14 years old. And that was a happy day. So happy. So many good games, laughters, we hug the orphans, we talk, we give them toys. Two things. Winnie and I would like to say we feel down, but we don't want to cry in front of them, okay? First, all these young girls, we were told, if they are 16, if they turn 16, the orphanage will no longer have the responsibility to look after them, okay? Because they're adult. That means usually they have to leave the orphanage. But one of the very possible scenario of their life is they have to go to Bangkok or somewhere, use their own body for living, which is not uncommon. It's not they want to do it, but they have no choice because their parents may be in jail. It's not what they want, but they have no choice. First thing. Second thing, we are having dinner. See, in Thailand, we don't really have Thai curry for dinner, okay? And we are having chicken. We were told that this chicken was those chicken we saw running when we first stepped into the orphanage. That means, you know, I stepped into the orphanage, I saw chicken running, and the chicken right now is on the table. And this chicken got no meat. I'm not kidding. If you look at all this chicken, so dry, so thin, no meat, only spicy. What makes us sad is they usually didn't have chicken. They killed the chicken because we were there. Okay? It's a special meal for them. Chicken, spicy sauce, and a little bit veggie and rice. You know, we feel bad if we eat the chicken, right? The chicken is all here. We won't say, hey, let's eat the chicken. We didn't. Because we saw that they really, really so eager to eat the chicken. And this is the first time I know the real Thai spicy taste actually is extremely spicy. Even young kid like them, 5 years old, the sauce they are eating is something I believe none of us can take. Okay. I look at this meal, Winnie and I, at that time, we start to feel how abundant we are, right? This is, I would like to say, the first lesson I learned in Thailand mission trip. Winnie and I, we went to Thailand 2 times, 2004 and 2005, 2 years together. We went back to Phuket, but this one is the first one. Looking at this chicken, I always just feel at that time, chicken is so common to me, nothing special. No KFC, right? It's cheap. I eat it. Oh my goodness, this KFC, the chicken is so dry. Now I don't want it. Just put it at the side. I look at this chicken, really dry. I'm not kidding. It's not really chewable, I would like to say. But I remember all these kids looking at the chicken. They were so happy. And be honest, I really cried at that time. And what I feel bad is they didn't know what will happen to them in the future. The boy, 16 years old, they have to go. They may be a gangster. No choice. The girl, they have no choice. They have to go to Bangkok or here or there. No education. This is their future. But at this moment, at least at this dinner, in their eyes, I can see they are so innocent. God at least have been good to them. See, the reason why I share with you is this. Now, see, I intentionally make a closer shot of myself and Winnie. Do you know which one is me? That's why I said it's not a monologue, it's a dialogue. Can you see which one is me? Can you see Winnie? This one, can I have a laser? Okay. Yes, you got it, yes. This is me, okay? Not too long ago, okay? Can you tell which one is Winnie? No, that is my sister. No. This one is Winnie. This one is Winnie. This one is Winnie. Winnie and I, we went. Actually, I first met Winnie was in a mission trip. I have never met her before. The first time I met her was in a mission trip. So we went to Thailand together. And this is your chicken. I really want to show you. Each of them only got one piece. Okay? And 2 people share one piece. And this is a spicy sauce. Some idiot, allow me to say, get a lot of spicy sauce into the rice. And that night, they didn't eat at all because it was so spicy. But the chicken was so dry. 2 persons share one piece of chicken like this. And it is already a special meal for them. For me, this one is something I will never forget. So at that time, I start to learn in everything, give thanks. Right before I went to Thailand, I was still in UK doing my master. Okay, 2004. Right after I finished my master, I fly back to Hong Kong. I stayed in Hong Kong for 2 days, and then I went to Thailand. So I never met this group of people. I am the stranger. No one knows me. But looking at the chicken, looking at Phuket, looking back in my life in UK, you know, at least as an international student, my family support me in UK to study. I just immediately I feel it is quite unfair, right? I immediately feel God is unfair. We are both human beings living in this earth. But I study in UK. I could have a steak, but this kind of chicken 2-3 times a day. A lesson I learned is give thanks. Give thanks is a choice. Right here is not just saying give thanks in everything. Not in every good thing, in good or bad. Sometimes it's true we will have bad thing, but bad thing can be an obstacle, or allow me to say it's like a detour that God prepared for us to hope that if we are walking to a wrong direction, there is obstacle always, but the obstacle can be placed by God to make sure that we do a detour so we follow God's will. That is the reason why we need to give thanks. Look at what we have rather than look at what we don't. I really think that is important. And this is a lesson that I learned in Thailand. Give thanks for what we have. So if you go to KFC, give thanks. One big pot of KFC is already what they eat maybe for a year. I have never been to this orphanage anymore. But if God allows, yeah, why not? Love to. Second one, in 2009, I went to Uganda in Africa. These are the picture. At that time, I was bigger. You can see. This is me. You can see my tummy. I was bigger at that time. Bigger than now, nearly 20 pounds, okay? I don't know why. And we went to Uganda, so hot. And these are my teammates, the leaders. That four of us, we were leading a team, 30 people from Hong Kong to Uganda. And it is my first time. It was my first time to set my foot in Africa. What I want to share with you is these two places. This picture is not taken by me. We went to a place. I remember the place is called Living Hope. It's a center like a camp. But this camp, if you walk in, you will only be able to see women, no men. It's talking about 1,000 women, young and old. And I, as a man, on that day, I wasn't allowed to do anything in this camp because I am a man. But the question is, why there is such a huge camp that you may say look after or trap like 1,000 women inside? In Uganda, the history is like this. There was a civil war. The civil war is really long, more than 10 years. And the civil war in Uganda was so violent. There were one night we stayed in a hotel. The hotel room is full of bullet mark. I remember that. So when we walk in, the ladies were so scared because the wall was full of bullet mark. And apparently, allow me to say, one of the tour guide in Africa, I think was not very experienced. He told us that, hey, can you see this soccer ground outside the hotel? This hotel is already one of the best in Uganda. But can you see that soccer ground? And then we said, yeah, we see the soccer ground. And then that tour guide said, in the civil war, people were tortured and executed right there. And then we were so quiet. Oh, really? And then that evening, all the ladies and a lot of men as well were so scared. The civil war is the reason why there is a camp like this. All these women, they used to have husbands. They have their own family. But in the civil war, they were tortured. They became, allow me to say, sexual slaves. They lost their kids. After the civil war, the society doesn't accept them and feel that, hey, you woman, you must make a choice to follow the rebellion. It is your own choice. Now you are like this. Now you go through all the torture. It's your price. The society doesn't accept them. It's true, some of them may make a choice in order to save their life, but some of them actually had no choice. So the entire camp, 1,000 women, they can't go back to society. What can the government do? The government set a camp, put all the women in, feed them every day. But they have no job, they just live inside. The society just doesn't want them. And this picture, you can see this lady, her face is all right? I have some other picture, but I decided not to put it here. In the civil war, the violence, I would like to say, is beyond my imagination. If a woman doesn't listen to a man, they will be tortured, maybe by cutting off their ear. If a man told a woman, you need to do this. If a woman said, no, I can't. I saw some women actually on their face, they lose their lips, or even have a huge scar like this. This is another reason why the society decided or cannot let this group of women going back, because their face is, you may say, ruined. And what we do in this center is restore dignity. I remember this statement. Restore dignity. To tell them that, yes, you have been through something so unbelievable, torture, but you are still the daughter of God. So a group of young ladies from Hong Kong, they bring a lot of makeup. I don't know how to do makeup. Yeah, a lot of makeup, help them to do the makeup, help them to be nice, and then use their mobile phone to help them to take a picture, make them feel happy. To tell them, see, you can look good as well. Don't always look down on yourself. So this is this center, Living Hope. Another one is the orphanage. Of course, you can imagine civil war. If so many women were taken, then there must be a lot of orphans in the society. So we went to the orphanage. All we need to do is just to hug the baby, nothing much. The reason why we hug the baby is usually this baby got no one to hug. Okay, it's this simple. The baby lie down day long, cry, one room like this, 24, 30 bed. The baby cry, keep crying. Only 5 staff. So when we went there, the staff tell us, hey, actually, you don't need to do much. You don't need to play games. No need. Don't need to bring anything. You just come, you just carry them, and they will be so happy. This is what we did. So you see, what we did is carry the baby, go outside, sit down, just to cuddle them, just to touch their head, just to look at them. It is what they want already. What lesson I learned in this time? This is one thing I learned. It is more blessed to give than to receive. And this is the Living Hope Center. If you type Living Hope Center Uganda, I believe you will still be able to look at the website, okay? And in this trip, because I used to be engineer, okay, 4 people. One of them is a businessman who mainly have a vision but don't care details. And other one is a teacher who is very caring, very empathetic, but he already said my mathematics was no good. Another one is a secretary, so into detail, but he also say mathematics is not my cup of tea. So I'm the 4th one, and the people say, hey, you are engineer, let you look at the account. And so I'm the one to look after all the finance, all the air ticket price, all the hotel booking cost. And my job is like this. When they're talking about what can we do, they turn to me, hey, Kin, do we have money to do this? Yes or no? And I just need to answer yes or no. Okay? This is my job. So I understand the finance management of the trip. And flying from Hong Kong to Uganda was not cheap. I remember I fly from Hong Kong to Dubai, stay in the airport at night, and then we fly to Ethiopia. And Ethiopia now actually was not that poor. The airport was not bad. And then we land in Ethiopia, and then we took a really old, cheap, horrible flight to Uganda. That kind of plane, And we get on the plane, we keep asking, do we really get insurance? Do we have enough insurance? Okay, I remember that. And then we land on Uganda. This is my first time I land on an airport. The link is not concrete. That is Uganda. And I remember at that time, I have to pay all this trip by my own pocket. Okay, I was preparing to get married with Winnie at that time, 2008, 2009. Going to Uganda cost me this trip also cost me I think nearly 6,000 Australia dollar at that time, just for 14 days. I have to make a choice. Should I go or I keep the money for my own use? And because I look after the finance of the whole trip, I see how many people donate to us. And we need to be responsible for this amount of money and donate the money to them. At the beginning, there was one point I thought, hey, I'm getting married. Shouldn't I not to go to mission trip, but keep the money for my wedding? But there is one point I just say, let's see what's happened. This is my personality. Let's go and see what happened, okay? And I still choose to go. But looking at the orphanage, looking at the center, this is what I feel. When I always want to keep more to myself, right? But look at the world. The world is like this. Isn't it more blessed to give? The reason why more blessed to give, not the action of giving, is something make me feel more blessed. To give is more blessed means I am more blessed because at least I have something to give, right? So it's more blessed to give because you have something to give. Those people who need to receive because they have nothing to give. So this is something I really learned in Africa. This is a slogan, a statement, vision statement of the Living Hope Center. Will be a place where vulnerable women will come and be redeemed, adored, cared for, and giving back their life. That means they have no life. The center, the purpose is to give back their life. Final mission. This is some picture I took in 2013. I will still have like 7 minutes for this one. Can anyone tell what this one is? Anyone? Anyone tell what this one is? Brisbane, yes. It is a sign in the Hong Kong airport. I took this picture in 2013, July, when I first land my foot in Australia. 2013 was the time I just graduated in seminary. And then I received a call, hey, are you okay if we invite you to come to Australia, Adelaide, to see whether or not you would like to serve the church in Adelaide? And I took this picture. It says Brisbane, but actually I was going to Adelaide, okay? that one is wrong. And come on, it's live. It's so interesting. And then I remember Winnie and I were standing this way. Hey, come on, we are going to Adelaide. Are we making a mistake? Are we standing next to the right gate? And it keeps saying Brisbane, but we are flying to Adelaide. And boarding soon, And standing in front of this number 49, I told Winnie, you know this? We are not going to go to Australia. I remember I literally say that. Winnie and I will stand. I say, this trip 5 days. We go to Australia to have a look. And then what we are going to do is to tell them, I have seen what I need to see, and I want to stay in Hong Kong with my family. Okay, before I get on board on the plane, I say this. And this is the tree outside the place I live in Hong Kong. I took this when I stood at the balcony. Winnie and we stand together. I remember in this balcony, and we just moved into this place. Winnie and I remember we talked. Such a conversation was so memorable. We said, Winnie, maybe we are going to stay in this place for the rest of our life. Maybe we are going to retire here. Maybe, our grandchildren will be in this place, when we become a grandparent. So good, blah, 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 blah. But this place, we stay here for 9 months. Then we move to Australia. And this is the picture I took. I really want to keep all the memory. I pack all the stuff by myself, and then the house become like this, or utterly empty. I pack all the books, I pack all the tissue, I pack whatever I can pack. And then, let's go to Australia. And at that time, Winnie and we fought 3 years. At the beginning, we fought 3 years. We also told our family 3 years. And then we will come back. But the fact is, you see, it has been 9 years where I am. I am still in Australia. At the beginning, when I first invited to Australia, and at the moment that I start to feel, why not we should go to Australia. Winnie and I, especially me, I see myself, it's like a mission. We went there for a little bit longer mission trip. I used to went there for 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Now I go there for 3 years. And after 3 years, if I get my job done, then yeah, maybe I can go back to Hong Kong. I see myself, I sacrifice this, I go to Australia, and then I even want to tell God, what else are you asking for, God? I have done what I can do already. But at the 4th or 5th years in Australia, many of you know, my second son, Boaz, got autism. First time we got an official diagnosis. And that is the point I start to think that I was so silly, allow me to say, even stupid or wrong in discerning God's will. When I was in Hong Kong, I thought God called me to Australia because God wanted me to serve the church in Adelaide. But after I knew that my son was autistic, my mind was changed. I started to realize that God called me to Australia to serve the church in Adelaide. Actually, perhaps not really because of the need of the church, because I actually didn't do much. But God was preparing a way or a proposal, an environment for my family to look after Boaz. I was utterly wrong. I'm not kidding. Even today, I still have to say that. I was utterly wrong. When I thought I was giving, actually, I was receiving. And this is one of the greatest lessons I learned in my life. I really want to share with you. This is a picture about the story of John 5, the man born blind. The apostle asked Jesus, hey, why this man born blind? Is it the sin of him or the sin of his parent? Is it someone did something wrong, so this man deserved to be blind? Jesus said, no, not for this. He was born blind because of the glory of God. So I still believe that my son born with a special need, not because I or my wife or anyone did something wrong. It is a question that this kind of parents always ask. I still have to convince myself it is for the glories of God. So I put this picture on my Facebook to remind myself. See, the reason why I share with you these 3 lessons, because of this one. You can see Sigmund Freud and then a statement. Let me give you a quick warning. A lot of pictures like this are fake, especially on internet. You can see a lot of statements and then put someone's name. Actually, they have never said it. I don't know this one is correct or not. I don't even want to know. But I feel that this statement is quite interesting, at least speak to me personally. So I decided to take a capture and keep it on my Facebook. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. I think it's really beautiful. This statement is beautiful. It encouraged me how to face the difficulty. See, commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this. The 3rd lesson I would like to share with you is to give your way, give your life, give yourself to the Lord. Okay? God is handicapped, allow me to say, in one sense. God cannot stop Himself not loving us. He is handicapped in this. He always loves. He can't suddenly say, I don't love you. I will never love you. He can't. So sometimes rationally we know God loves us, blah, blah, blah. I want to follow God. But when the expression of God's love goes against our will, do we choose to trust our rationality or do we choose to trust that God has a plan? This is a very important thing. This statement is this: commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this. So what is this? He will make your righteous reward shine like the dawn, your vindication like the noonday sun. God will never treat us bad. The only possibility is we do not understand His love. Okay? We do not understand. but God will never not loving us. So 3 lessons I learned, which I always remind myself: give thanks in everything. Good time, bad time, give thanks. Look at what we have. These shoes, to share with you, these shoes, okay? I wear these shoes for, can you guess how long? Of course, if I ask such a question, it's not 6 months, these shoes. Can you guess how long I have been wearing these shoes? My goodness. How can you be this marked? Exactly 9.5. What's your name? Well done. 9.5. This one 9.5. I only wear this on Sunday, frankly. Because this one is comfortable. I never wear this from Monday to Saturday because I want to keep it on Sunday, then I can wear this as long as I can. Give thanks. Simple life. We get what we need. Keep the abundance so one day we will be able to help those in need. It is more blessed to give. Yes, we can give, right? When we give, do we feel pain? Yes. But the reason why we can give because we already have something. In Africa, one thing I learned, as long as you have a fridge at your place, you are already the top 1 or 2% wealthy people in this earth. Because a lot of African people have no fridge. They never have one. If you have a fridge and you have food in it, congratulations. You are already above the average. So simple. Everyone in Australia got a fridge, right? Most of the people. Give your way to the Lord. Don't trust our understanding. Most of the time we feel, I know what is good to me, but God knows. Sometimes you don't understand. Use our rationality to convince ourselves, I am the one make mistake, not God. God never make mistake. If God call us to do something, maybe in the future, now because of COVID, we don't have a chance, right? Maybe next year, the year after, if we can go to mission stream again, let's go together. Okay? It's more, give your way to the Lord. Do something together. Experience God together. Give your life to God. Final one statement is this. You go and you grow. I say it again. You go and you grow. If you go, you follow God. You grow in God. Is it okay? So if in the near future, if there is opportunity that we can go together, I highly encourage you, let's go together. Let's explore the world together. Shall we? Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we want to say thank you for this time. Father, you create this world for us so that, Father, we can live in it. And also, Father, you prepare everything for us. Something we need, you give us. Even something just we want, you also give us. Your love is so abundant. Your provision is so abundant. But Father, teach us not to be numb of the need of others. Open up our eyes to see this world, to see how abundant we are, to see how wealthy, how resourceful we are. And teach us to understand that, Father, the only reason why you give us this much is not for us to enjoy by ourselves or even enjoy everything selfishly. But Father, you entrust everything to us so we can share with others. I just pray that, Father, Lord, you give us such hearts. In the future, Father, if there are opportunities that we can go to mission trip, China, Africa, Thailand, Philippines, Myanmar, give us faith. So in prayer, we can say that whenever God you call us to go, we follow. Give us faith, for we usually have little faith only. But in you, we know all things are possible. Thank you, Father, Lord. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.